Ladies and gentlemen, Eddie Hearn and K2 Promotions, in association with Triple G Promotions, are very proud to bring you 12 rounds for the WBC Silver Super Middleweight crown. Our officials at ringside, appointed by the World Boxing Council President Maurizio Suleiman, our supervisor from Italy, Signor Mauro Betti, and the British Boxing Board of Control, President Charles Giles, our steward in charge, Mr. Mick Collier. At ringside, our judges scoring. From Italy, Guido Cavalieri. From England, John Keane. From Canada, Craig Metcalf. At the bell, our timekeeper, Mr. Bob Edgeworth. When the bell rings, referee in charge. From Scotland, Mr. Victor Laughlin. And now, ladies and gentlemen, time to meet the boxers. Firstly, the challenger, boxing out of the red corner, wearing blue shorts with black and gold. On the scales, 11 stone, 12 pounds. From 24 contests, 21 wins with 16 inside the distance, only 3 defeats. He's a former two-weight WBC Youth Champion. He is the reigning Hungarian Super Middleweight Champion. From Budapest, Noble Norbert Nemesapathi. And in the blue corner stands the champion, wearing white with blue and silver trim. He weighed in 11 stone 13 pounds, has a perfect record, 20 contests, 20 wins, 15 inside the distance. Reigning British champion, reigning European champion, the reigning and defending WBC Silver Super Middleweight champion, one of the Fighting Smith brothers from Liverpool, the undefeated Callum Smith.
Okay, boys, you've had your instructions in the dressing room. Remember, obey my commands at all time, defend yourselves at all time. God bless, let's do it.
Youngest of the Liverpool brothers, and the one that Paul, who was holding the belt there in the ring after his performance, Liam, who's got his fight with Canelo Alvarez, and Stephen, who's here tonight. They all say Callum is the best of the family. Paul and Stephen have been world title challengers. Liam is a champion. Will Callum follow suit? The WBC #1. He's undefeated in 2015 knockouts. So close now, vital. There's no switch off. In it with Norbert Nemesapathi from Budapest in Hungary. Normally tough and game. Got a bit of power about him as well. 67% knockout ratio. Smith, we know, 75%. He's a big puncher with those long raking arms, and good call at range and up close, Smith.
Very good at both. I was saying earlier to Ed Robinson before this fight, he doesn't do anything particularly spectacular, but he does everything very well. So he can fight up close, he's got a very good defense. He can fight using his range. Great amateur, great uppercut there early.
Oh, right hand as well. Uppercut right hand. Power of Smith already delivering inside the opening minute. And it was a fast start from Nemesapathi. But there's that power and drive and accuracy from Smith. He's given it a go, though, early, the Hungarian, Matt.
Yeah, game, and he's having a go, but he's quickly been put under manners, hasn't he? But Callum, he's got him straight on the back foot there. Here he is coming forward again, but Callum's such a versatile fighter for such a tall kid. He goes to the body so well, and his punch power, you know, as he goes through the levels, you can see every time he hits anyone he fights, even if he doesn't knock them clean out, he shakes them to their boots, he puts them under manners. All he needs is one clean shot, and he turns the fight in his favour.
And he's always so businesslike, Callum Smith. I mean, there's always a danger that you take your opponent lightly at this stage. He's tapping on the door for a world title. He's defending his WBC silver, which is setting him up for the major WBC belt, you know, the real world title. But you just know he comes here, and you know he's going to give it his best performance and not do anything silly. He took a little right hook there, sitting close with his defence, but I think he knows he's in control here early on. He's looking for power punches already.
Yeah, that's it, Carl. Like you say, he's such a professional man. He doesn't take any corners in training. Very dedicated, very committed. There he is going for his honey punch left hook to the body, just behind the elbow. But like you say, he takes nothing lightly. Very professional. You know, conducts himself like a real pro.
Good jab as well from Callum Smith. Decent amateur. Maybe a little bit disappointed himself at the sort of lack of finesse and star quality maybe at the end of that unpaid ranks, but he's certainly showing everything as a professional, easing through the levels, and so many in the trade believe he will be a world champion within the next few months.
Yeah, I think it's certainly a case of when, not if. You know, Badu Jack, James DeGale, they're meant to be fighting. But, you know, I'll tell you, 12 months' time from now, I'd like to see Callum Smith and DeGale. I mean, he could beat him right now, but he is awkward, James. We have to give him his credit. He's the champion, but that's a great fight down the line.
Still applying the pressure, Nemesapathi, but those cute uppercuts from Smith and that long jab, keeping him at bay. What a good opener.
Lose into that pocket, let the short right hook go, alright, okay? Or the right uppercut, yeah? When you're pushing them to the ropes, you overreach with the right hand, push your feet in, yeah? Up and round, and give your hand time. Alright?
Come on, let us into a secret, Matt. You've trained with Joe Gallagher. Does he have a favourite in the Smith brothers?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think Paul, you know, he's obviously the oldest, so I think he gets on well with Paul. You know, they share a good joke here and there, and I think he knows Callum is the one of the future. He's the future of the family.
In the blue and white, Mundo, Callum Smith, the 26-year-old from Liverpool, of course, who got that terrific win earlier for the Smith brothers as well against Leicester 4-1. The new stand open at Anfield, and I know Callum dreams of fighting there one day, maybe defending a world title, something like that. That's the dreams. They can easily go wayside, and Norbert Nemesapathi will be hoping to cause the upset here. He's only 21, he's got power, he's still got ambition, and he's coming off a decent performance against Umar Salamov in Russia, and before that Isfan Zella for a Hungarian title. So he's had plenty of rounds, he's in okay form, but Callum Smith could be, Carl, a bit too special.
Probably more than likely, but Nemesapathi there walking into a right hand, walking into a left hook, but actually walking through them. How long he can walk through them heavy shots for remains to be seen. He's getting caught flush, he's okay, you know, just in round 2, but if this carries on from Callum, I think this is going to be an early night for him.
Yeah, and it's an interesting what he done there, Carl. It was a counter. You know, Callum's a good counter puncher when he's backed up against the ropes. He stays tight, he lets his opponent unload, and then just quick short left hook counter. I think in his last fight that was the shot that got the opponent in trouble initially, caused the first knockdown. Did it again there just on the ropes before. Very, very good all-round fighter, Callum Smith.
If I'm going to be critical with what you're saying there, man, sometimes, you know, he sits there with his guard up, some shots do slip through, and you can't always afford to take them shots, but he's applying the pressure well here and looking for that aggressive counter punch, which he's so very good at.
Whipped in a body shot and one to the chin as well, testing the whiskers of Nemesapathi. He is backtracking now, the Hungarian.
I like the way he goes up and down with the jab at him. He doesn't get predictable. He keeps mixing his attacks up. I think that's important, especially as he's going back here on the ropes now. When his opponent's looking to move his head, keep his hands high. It's important that he doesn't get predictable and keeps mixing things up.
Just wincing there from a body shot. And more pressure here from Smith. It took Rocky Fielding out. Fellow unbeaten Merseysider in spectacular fashion on that real atmospheric night at the Echo, and he's just starting to get through the guard here of Nemesapathi.
Nemesapathi sitting there, tucking up, trying to, you know, defend shots with his gloves and arms and elbows, but it's not enough. Callum Smith's variety and work rate and speed of hand, and, you know, punch picking is perfect through the guard of Nemesapathi, who winced again there, almost went down on one knee. He's really under some heavy pressure here from Callum, and like I said in the last round, the writing's almost on the wall. Great round from Callum Smith.
Eldest brother Paul with wife Janine and Stephen alongside, who was close to pulling off the world title win himself. And Callum Smith closing in on Badu Jack, the WBC champion. And he's got long levers and accuracy and hurtful punches. Tough to fight him, isn't it, Matt? Probably.
Very tough. You know, like you stand at range, he's at boxing, you know, with his big long arms. But you come inside, he's as good at inside fire. He's at range. And I mean, then at times on the ropes, then he had Nemesapathi backed up, and he was actually punching through his guard. He wasn't even picking the gaps. He was just punching through the gaps and causing the openings.
And this is a guy that's won a vacant youth title at light heavyweight. So, you know, he's not a small guy. Yeah, he might seem it because Callum's so tall, but he's tough and strong, and he's only been stopped in the 11th round out in Canada by Chile Hippolyte. It's okay form, isn't it, going into this?
It is, yeah. Nemesapathi, you know, he's tough and durable and solid looking. I mean, light heavyweight he's operated at. He's done okay at light heavyweight, so it shows that, you know, he can handle himself more than comfortable at super middleweight. He'll be able to soak up the shots, but he looks outmatched and, you know, outweighted and outstrengthened in every department by Callum Smith, which shows Callum Smith's level, and it shows that he is ready for. I mean, you can say any of the super middleweight champions at the minute, you wouldn't really worry about putting Callum in with any of them, but you wouldn't want to rush it. Great combination there, uppercut left. He just takes his time.
Good right hand as well from Smith as he tries to pin Nemesapathi back into that red corner, unleashing the leather. It's a good crop in the 12-stone division, though. Yamada Ramirez, who Paulie was talking about earlier. You know, Badu, Jack, James DeGale, George Groves, your old nemesis. He's doing okay again, isn't he, Groves? So,
yeah, I mean, I think the obvious thing with Callum Smith is how hard he hits, how well he goes to the body. But I think his repertoire and his variety is what really jumps out at me. I mean, he really does mix the combinations up so well. It's very difficult to read where it's coming from. I mean, I've sparred him, and you know, I'm waiting for the body shot to come, then he's giving me the uppercuts up the middle, and all of a sudden he sneaks one downstairs.
You've both sparred him.
We have, yeah. I mean, I've sparred quite a few rounds of him, and all the names you mentioned there, you know, Badu, Jack, James DeGale, George Groves is back now after that. You know, it was an impressive win against Martin Murray. He was very strong and durable, and he got him out of there. Well, you know, it took him. He didn't get him out of there, but he looked like he was about to. I mean, it was a great fight over 12 rounds. And like I said, he wouldn't worry about putting Callum Smith in with any of them, but there's no rush. Doing the business here, and he's definitely ready for a world title, Callum. It's just which route he goes. We know it's WBC almost mandatory for Badu Jack, and that's a fight that's winnable, but still a tough one for him.
It's quite a tough situation as well, with Paul trying to get a world title shot as well, and maybe the slightly easier route in the German area, Tyron Zeiger or De Carolis or someone like that.
Well, I was just going to say to Carl was a big super middleweight. I always thought Carl was huge. I was at middleweight, I thought to go into super, and I looked at Carl and thought, no, he's way too big.
You didn't want to fight him?
No, he's much too big for me. But I mean, I'm looking at Callum Smith here, ringside. He's huge, isn't he? I mean, what do you think to the size of him, Carl?
Well, I agree with you, and I always said from day one when he turned professional, it won't be long before he's operating a light heavyweight, and he actually does super middleweight really well. So, you know, he's a very big, strong super middleweight, which is a great attribute to have in such a great division.
Don't let up. So stop him moving and shoot the right hand down the pipe, yeah? You try too much or long.
Great right hook there, up on the top of the head. I think his legs dipped momentarily from that shot. But he just takes his time, doesn't he, Carl? I mean, he really sets his goes up. He even puts his left hand out there just to kind of, you know, till he gathers where his thoughts and picks his punches, just knows his way around so well. Yeah,
when he's got his opponent on his back foot against the ropes or in the corner, he doesn't rush or smother his work. He still picks his shots well, and he's always looking out for that counter punch, which is important at world level because them counter punches come back thick and fast. Badu Jack, great operator. We've seen him a few times, and he'd have to be at his best to beat Badu Jack. And you know, this is really sharpened his tools perfectly with such a durable opponent.
Born to do this, really, Callum Smith, with the elder brothers, and he loves performing under the lights. He's quiet and softly spoken outside of the ring. Lovely guy. We spent some time with him when Badu Jack and James DeGale were fighting on the same card over in Washington, and he's a pleasure to be around, but he lets his fist do the talking. Real old-fashioned operator, Smith. Good to see that attitude, Carl.
It is, yeah, very professional. You can see, you know, during the round, just look in his eyes, he's watching every move of his opponent here, and he's reacting to everything he does. If he half for an uppercut there, then realise he didn't need to throw it. You can see his reflexes and his reactions are that of a young man, and he carries that power. It's not a knockout concussive power, but he punches with enough power to command respect at any level. So, like I said earlier, really, really good all-rounder.
Matt, you were saying at the beginning you thought he was just going to try and drive through him, get the early knockout. Will he be maybe ticking through his mind just to get a few rounds in now with that world title shot so close?
I don't think so. I think he goes about his business. He looks to take you out of there. That's the way he does it. But he does it methodically, systematically, breaks you down. He's not overly aggressive. He doesn't rush his work like Carl says. He doesn't smother his work. But he is looking to do damage. He's looking to bang the shots into the body. He's looking to drive them uppercuts through the middle. He's looking to not just outpoint you, but to take you apart. Basically he's looking to beat you up and knock you out. He's quite cruel, even though he's a lovely, unassuming guy. In the ring, he's vicious and cold. Very much so.
I think he's had to go early on here in his last round and round before that. You know, round 2 and 3 especially, he was letting big shots go. And I think he realised, you know, I better just sit back and just bide my time a little bit here, because you know, Nemesapathi, he's in this fight, he's strong, he's durable, he doesn't want to wear himself out, Callum, and, you know, look like he's struggling. So I think he's just taking his time a little bit, picking his shots, not rushing anything. There's no rush, get the rounds in the belt, perfectly setting him up for you, and he knows what's going to be a hard world title fight. Everything I'm seeing now, I'm very impressed with.
Yeah, like you say, is the reflexes of a young man, but is the boxing brain of an old veteran.
Yeah, that's a good point, Matt. Nemesapathi still soaking it up and coming back in clusters, but the extra firepower with Callum Smith. Just feel it up close at ringside. He does bring that, as well as the excellent boxing skills too. A right handful. Well, that's better from Nemesapathi on the bell. The cast of Game of Thrones are with us tonight, and we hear many celebrities will be filling up the O2, including, of course, Carl Froch and Matthew Macklin. Well, in the boxing world.
Yeah, don't leave us out, Adam.
I think David Hayes here tonight, Amir Khan, Anthony Joshua, plenty of big-name fighters. I'm sure there'll be celebrities from the music and film world, TV world as well. Gennady Golovkin has that appeal, and there are many that want to see what will happen when Kell Brook enters the ring against him. Cannot wait. It is mouth-watering, isn't it, this one?
It is, yeah. And, you know, just waiting for that first bell. I was talking earlier to a couple of casual fans, because there weren't really boxing knowledge in the hotel I'm staying at, and there's no sport, in my opinion, that gets you so excited, and you know, the apprehension and the waiting of the ring walking, and when the first bell goes, whether it's just because I'm in love with boxing or because it is the best sport in the world, I don't know, but I mean, what an exciting game and great fight we've got with Kell Brook and Gennady Golovkin this evening.
I'm sure Matt's pretty pleased to be this side of the road.
Yeah, very much so. Especially when I see Gennady Golovkin climbing through them. No, Carl's right, you know, there's nothing like a big fight event. You know, it's the hype. I mean, fight week, you change your mind about 20 times, don't you, how you see the fight's going to play out. But I mean, I'm just enjoying watching Callum Smith here, and I'm glad that he's got such a platform. You know, American television are here, RTF German television. You know, the crowd's really filling in now, big full arena.
Bernard Hopkins, the legend, is just alongside me, and I just had a quick word with him in between rounds, and he's very impressed with Callum Smith.
Yeah, because you know, Callum, when I was saying about him doing the way he likes to go in and do damage, it's not in a Ricky Hatton-esque type of way. You know, he's not 100 mile an hour, he's not right on top of you, but he is looking to take you out of there. He's looking to break you down. Yeah, he's scoring points, but they're hurtful punches all the time. He's looking for the gaps, he's touching you up, trying to manoeuvre you around the ring, thinking where's he going to get the good body shot in, or he's looking for you to come back with a counter, and he counters your counter with a quick left hook.
Has gone 10 rounds with Vladimir Bios and 12 with Nicola Sejloka. That was a good learning fight. And with Christopher Rebrasse too. Last time out, he took 6 to get rid of Cesar Reynoso in the open air of Goodison Park on the big Tony Bellew night, when Tony became the world cruiserweight champion. And he hurt Reynoso early, but he was really brave, the opponent, and Callum eventually got the job done. But you're right, he doesn't really rush.
He doesn't know, but, you know, playing devil's advocate a little bit, Nemesapathi, he's taken Callum's best shot, he's been backed up, and now he fancies it a little bit. You know, he's looking quietly confident, marching forward. I think he knows he can't win the fight, but he doesn't seem to be too troubled and too, you know, he's not been robbed of his ambition yet. So that might tell us a little something about Callum. He's having a go here again and landing, sneaking through with the odd shot. But Callum is sort of taking his time and enjoying himself in here, I think.
Yeah, and I think he's still in first gear. I think he hasn't even gone into second gear yet. He's just systematically landing clean jabs, trying to work the body, throwing a few feints, trying to get the opening.
Nemesapathi is only 21. He turned pro at 16, so there is ambition, and he's still in there.
Model.
We'll probably never see the likes again, will we?
No, he's a freak of nature. There's no other way you can put it.
And he's liking Callum Smith, enjoying the watch as Smith tries to take care of business here. Routinely, he hopes, against Norbert Nemesapathi into the 6th round. He's won everything, hasn't he?
He has, yes. He's won everything. He's doing everything correct, as well as listening to Joe Gallagher and acting on the instructions of his coach, which is always nice to see. I would like to see him step it up a little bit. You know, he wants to send a message to the other super middleweights, wants to give them something to think about. We're in round 6 now. He's in control. He's won every round. So, you know, round through to round 7, 8 and 9, I want to see him stepping on the gas, putting shots together, and maybe getting Nemesapathi out of there. But, you know, that's me talking. That's what I like to see, and that's my style of fighting. It's not always the right way, but it does send a message to the other super middleweights.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, Carl, completely. I think, you know, he's won every round. He's completely in control. He probably hasn't broke first gear, but now I'd like to see him go through the gears. I think maybe in his last fight, he hurt the guy early on. He tried to rush it a little bit, mate, but this time I think he's maybe taking his time too much. He's totally in control. I'd like to see him go through the gears now.
Still game, though, isn't he? Nemesapathi doesn't care about any reputation that Callum Smith might have, or fighting in front of this sort of crowd, which is building up so nicely. Many empty seats now. Everyone's getting ready, getting set. Another world title fight to come with Lee Haskins and Stuart Hall, and then the big one. And if Callum Smith's going to be big, should he be taking out Nemesapathi roundabout now? Or, as I suggested earlier, Matt, ring education still important, ticking off the rounds before the world title challenge?
Well, the rounds won't do him any harm, but I would like to see him kind of up it now. He's totally in control. I know Nemesapathi having a little go here, but Callum's been in control. He's won every round. And I'd like to see him go, you know, put his foot to the floor a little bit and just go through the gears here a little bit and try and get this guy out of there.
Whipping in the body shots. Just partially blocked that, Nemesapathi. But he's really digging his big boots into the canvas here, Callum Smith, to try and unleash a bit more power, Carl.
Well, yeah, just as we've said it, you know, he's stepping on the gas and he's landing these accurate, hurtful-looking punches, which is what we want to see. You know, if this carries on, this cannot go.
Oh, body shot there, just troubled him, and one to the head. And Nemesapathi, who hasn't been hurt really since the opening couple of rounds, just had to give ground there.
Yeah, he certainly wins from that body shot. He's right here, just on the
Leave me by the ropes in the corner there, and he definitely
took his breath away momentarily.
Starting to find a way, and a body shot there. He was going down anyway, and one hit him as he went. The gun shield's out, the bell's gone. So if he makes the count, he'll be all right to get back to his corner, but saved by the bell, most definitely.
Exactly. I mean, as if by magic, you know, it was just talking there, wanting Callum Smith to respond, to step on the gear, to send the message out there, and that's exactly what he's done.
He's really hurt in this red corner. I don't want to keep bringing it back, Matt, but that body shot you took to Gennady Golovkin, I mean, describe the sort of pain here that he's going through.
Well, it just totally paralyses you momentarily. We've all played football when we were schoolboys, and it's like getting kicked with a football right into the land, into the solar plexus. It just paralyses you, you're out of breath, you drop to your knees, you can't get your breath, you're in absolute agony. You know, that wasn't a Golovkin masking body shot what he done me with, but it took his breath away nonetheless. And he's been a rugged, Nemesapathi, he's been rugged tonight, but I think that probably knocked the fight out.
It's all over. Victor Loughlin has waved it off. I don't think a minute was going to be long enough to recover from a shot like that. And Callum Smith makes it 21 straight wins, and he does get another stoppage. That's 16 on the slate, and he's ready for the WBC challenge of Badou Jack. The question is, will Jack fight De Gale in a unification, and will Callum Smith have to wait a little bit longer? There's the politics.
Well, I think Callum Smith beats Badou Jack every day of the week and twice on Sundays. I think James De Gale is a tough fight for Callum Smith. Like we say, styles make fights, and it's intriguing. How do you see that front, Carl?
You never met James De Gale, I want to rub that in.
James DeGale, you know, he's a quality operator. I don't think he's really quality for 12 rounds. If I'm being, you know, critical, I just think for the last part of the fight, I want to see him step on the gas and, you know, show that he's an athlete and show his fitness. And I've never seen that from DeGale. He always sort of scraped through the last few rounds, which is annoying. Callum Smith, you know, really good performance tonight. James DeGale, oh, there he is, you know, speak of him, and there he appears. Great fighter, quality. He's not doing much at the minute, and like I say, he's waiting for the potential unification fight with Badou Jack.
I think James DeGale is a fighter that rises to the level of his opposition. Just watching Callum Smith here going through the gears, getting the finish, and we always thought it'd be the body shot that'd do it, and you could see it was almost a delayed reaction. He caught him with the shot, he went for his breath, and as he goes for the breath, you realise it's not there, yeah, a bit like the Castillo-Ricky Hatton one. He caught him with a shot, he stepped away, and then when he went to breathe, he realised he was being winded. But yeah, back to James DeGale. I think James DeGale and Callum Smith in 6 to 12 months down the line is an intriguing battle of styles.
I think it's a magnificent match. I think there's so many in this compelling 12-stone division. Callum Smith, is he the best of the lot? It's an argument. He's got to prove it, but he's done nothing much wrong so far.
And he'd be very, very difficult to beat because he doesn't look like he really gets hurt with punches. He's always in front of you, counter-punching everything you do. He's got a great defence. When he sits back on the ropes with his guard up, I can criticise him and say the odd shot slips through, but he's looking at his opponent. He knows the shots are coming. He half catches it with his hand, but he's looking for that counter-punch.
But like you said earlier, Carl, and I thought you were bang on the money with it. He doesn't do anything absolutely exceptional, but he doesn't do anything wrong. He's a great all-rounder.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of round number 7, referee Victor Loughlin accepts the retiral of Norbert Nemesapathi's corner. The winner is still the WBC Silver Super Middleweight Champion, Callum Smith.
Well, Norbert Nemesapathi still in pain, and Callum Smith still victorious, unbeaten. And is he a star? Many people believe he will be in the making. Callum and Paul, double success for the Smith brothers. Back to Ed.
Well, Paul, I believe that's the second time you've seen Callum Smith. What do you think of him as a prospect?
You know,